Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Seller Ladies Live. My name's Karen, and today's subject is going to be online presence and cross-listing. And today I am joined by Andrea.
Hello.
And today's subject is going to be
Hello.
Sorry.
That's okay.
It was me as well.
Sorry, hang on. I'm trying to get the chat up on my screen, still can't do it. Lex Oliver.
Hi.
Caroline, Mrs. M.
Hello.
Kelly from Flipping Fantastic Finds.
Hiya.
Heather from the Treasure Pirate.
Hello.
And Karen from Karen Sells Clothes.
Hello.
Are you all good, ladies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Mostly.
Enjoying the sun.
Yes, it is. It's been lovely, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Really nice. Right, so thanks very much, Lex, because she's thought up some great questions. So without further ado, I shall start. So the first topic is what your name is online. So it says, do you have the same name across all the platforms that you're on? And I shall start with Caroline first.
I didn't know there was any questions, so completely off the cuff. I've obviously not been paying attention. No, everything's different. I've got 2 accounts on eBay with 2 completely different names that are nothing to do with me. When I did Etsy, it was Caroline Mrs. M, which was the same as my YouTube. But no, I don't have branding, so to speak. No.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Heather?
This is all very news to me. I'm completely in with it all, to be honest. I don't really. I mean, I've got the Treasure Pirate as my YouTube name, but it doesn't appear on my store or anything. Which, in a way, I quite like not being too obvious about where people can find me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So no, I haven't.
How about you, Karen?
My YouTube and I say personal Instagram, the one that I use reselling, like to talk about reselling, is completely different to my eBay shop, which I've also opened up an Instagram for. I have opened up a Vinted and a Depop account in the same name, not because I want to use them, I just don't want somebody else using the same name as me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a greedy cow, so I'm just going to take up the names.
What about you, Kelly? Do you use any different names, or do you like to keep everything separate?
I'm pretty much the same on most of the platforms that I'm on. Got a Facebook page, YouTube, and then Instagram. They're Flipping Fantastic Finds. So yeah, just keep that consistent. I try and keep the same picture. I won't say it's a logo because it's just a picture of me with my shades on. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Not for no particular reason, just what I did. So I didn't really think about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but I think it's quite good to have consistency. I really should do that myself. I've got all sorts of names. The reason I changed my YouTube name because I was planning on doing some sewing videos as well, but that really hasn't happened yet. So there's probably a few people that have clicked on it going, oh, she's sewing, and then seen that it's just all reselling. So that's not great, really. And I'm Karen makes and resells. My business is called Cars Sells It. So it's usually somewhere around there, but I really should amalgamate it all and have everything the same, really. What about you, Andrea?
Our eBay name is completely different to the name that I use on like Vinted and Depop and Etsy. But the name that I use for those used to be our eBay name. And we used to use that across the board, but we keep changing it. We've changed it over the years many times. So I just stuck with it for like Etsy and Depop. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like branding across the board, I've never really consciously done that. So I don't use the same pictures. I don't make it look the same. So no, yeah. In terms of branding across the board, no, not consciously.
I've left our most branded person, I think, to last, which is Lex. I think Lex is definitely a brand.
Oh, thank you. And the keyword.
Keyword, yes.
Yeah. No, I am Bad Biscuit across everything, and that's like when I was making films, it was a Bad Biscuit production. When I was renting out like costume to TV productions, it was Bad Biscuit Boutique. And it's when I did nipple tassels, it was Bad Biscuit Burlesque. So it was just, it's always been Bad Biscuit. It's almost like an alter ego rather than just a shop name, I think. And also just because it's so much easier to remember when you're having to constantly log into other platforms. To remember your name on each one. For me, that would just be, I wouldn't be able to remember it. I would lose all my logins. So to me, it just makes sense as well. Just everything is the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I think Karen made a good point as well about somebody else setting up on a platform in your name that you use for something else. And that's always a danger, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, if someone else set them, you know, so don't go getting ideas now, viewers, but if someone, you know, was it The Hills Are Alive? Like you need to copyright that now and get it just in case. You know, there's some dodgy one out there that's considering that right now. You know,
I'm not sure if we'd be allowed to. It's kind of copyrighted by Sound of Music, isn't it?
Very true.
Still just dormant accounts on the other platforms, which is what I've basically done. I've set up dormant accounts that I'll never use, but they're set up in the name because of that. I've also done Gmail and Hotmail as well because I'm just like that.
So Lex, I know that you said that your name comes from your cat. It always reminds me of Doctor Who though, with Bad Wolf.
Ah, yeah. Well, Bad Biscuit came before Bad Wolf. I think I was 13 years old now. But yeah, I kind of like when Bad Wolf all came out, I kind of liked the it was a bit edgy, isn't it? It's kind of so I sort of like the little resemblance there.
So there was a little bit of that thinking in it then.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Cool.
There's something a little bit evil and nasty about it as well as being terribly cute.
Yeah, see, I've not got the same name on my YouTube and my personal reseller Instagram purely because I class this as completely separate to my business, and I know people can, but I don't particularly encourage or want people to link the two. So I don't do YouTube to sell things to people.
Yeah.
So
it's just a bonus if somebody does say, "Oh, I really like that." Yeah.
But that's not the reason that I do it. So that's why I want to link it all across.
You see, I deliberately don't have. I deliberately opened a new eBay account because I had so many people following my old one, and I didn't like the fact my address was on it, and I was doing YouTube, and I didn't know who was watching, and it was very easy to link the two. So I deliberately don't have any connection between my YouTube and my eBay at all.
From when I worked in television, I've worked as a researcher, and then also from when I did some like marketing and stuff a few years ago. I know how easy it is to find anyone's details. Karen, you're really good at finding people's details.
I am. If you have an eBay account, I will find you.
Yeah, exactly. It is so you can look at people's details on Companies House. It's all there. All information is there for everyone. So I know how easy it is to actually find people. If you really wanted to, you could. And so that's why for me that I don't mind putting myself out there so much. Because if people really wanted to, they could anyway, you know. In which case, come and get me.
I've got the chat up now, so I can just say hello to everyone in the chat. First person in was Joe Leake. I don't know if anyone else has heard of them. If you're new, thanks very much for joining. Then we've got Gemma Lou, Chris B, Christine Davis, Bexify, Anne Isaac, Joe Davies, Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue.
Gary, Southwest Sellers, BCP, Mandy, Antoinette, KLC, Kirsten. Hi, Kirsten. Hope you're okay. Lainey. I think that's everyone. Oh, Julie, Tap Peddler. So quite a few people in. Lisa, Loopy Lass. Don't know who that is. L33, Mrs. I think that's Carrie, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bronwyn. So we've got quite a few people in, so that's great. Thanks for joining. I'll just have a quick look. On the
We've
next.
got Bronwyn in as well. Doesn't she watch from Australia?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi, Bronwyn. Can't forget you watching up from all the way over there.
That really is an Australian name, isn't it? Wasn't someone on Neighbours or Home and Away? Bronwyn?
It must have been the middle of the night over there.
I thought it was a Welsh name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it does sound Welsh as well. Yeah.
The Welsh and Australians were very, very similar in culture and everything.
Right, so we've pretty much covered branding, logos. Does anyone have separate websites or not? I know Nick and Andrea do, but that's more of a blog, isn't it, rather than a selling platform?
Yeah, it's not a selling platform.
Yeah.
I used to have one a long, long time ago for the burlesque stuff, but I found that the amount of effort it takes into actually setting up your own website, and by the time that you put all of the things on there to sell, you've already sold it on a different place anyway.
Yeah.
It's really hard maintaining that like nice level of stuff.
Yeah.
When it's just so much easier to whack it on eBay.
Yeah, about 7 years ago, my best friend started up her own small business selling children's clothes. And I spent ages with her helping her set up her website. And, you know, she had to learn loads about building a website and everything. She didn't use one of the companies. She'd done it herself. And just the traffic going there was just terrible. Mm-hmm. I tried helping her promote it and everything, but it's just so much easier to sell on eBay because you've got the audience right there. Whereas if you've got a website, you've got to drive traffic to it. So it takes a lot of effort unless you're someone very established. I wouldn't recommend it. I would say it didn't last long. I think she only lasted about a year. So
you've either got to drive traffic yourself, promote the heck out of it yourself, or you have got to Google thousands to try and appear near the search, top of the search.
My husband actually built me a website for my vintage scarves and ties, which is what it's called, which is a good search thing, obviously. This was a few years ago, and it took him so long to build the bloody thing. I started an eBay business. Here I am today. So I can thank him for that. It's still up there. I still have about 100 scarves on it, and every now and again someone will buy one. But in all seriousness, the amount, like you say, the amount they're just fanning about, excuse the language, was beyond all measure. And eBay, for all of its faults, appeared to be so much easier. So yeah, that was my dabbling.
Oh, well, they always say things happen for a reason.
Hello, Carla. Lady Jenkins with her fan.
Lady Jenkins, I get a fan now of a lady. Is anybody else dying, or is it just me?
It's you.
Okay, we've got all the sunshine in Bristol then, yeah?
No, it's lovely here. Beautiful.
Yeah, but you've had your menopause.
Thanks for sharing that with the internet, Carla.
Let's just share everything, shall we?
I just walked in just as Heather was fannying, apparently, so I've no idea what you're talking about.
We're just talking about websites, but the question I asked first was, do you use the same name across all platforms, or do you? But you don't do. I think you do actually, don't you, Carla?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am the same me everywhere, and not just on like things like this, but also like, you know, when you join Argos and it asks you to choose a username, I'm the same thing there as well.
Yeah.
Because I would never remember it. I would never remember anything else.
Yeah.
So.
Right. I think the next question was about selling on different platforms. So what other platforms do you sell on apart from eBay? And I shall start with Kelly first.
I don't think there's any point for me, actually. I think eBay is the place where I will sell. I mean, I do sell at car boots and fairs now and again, but online, like I said before, we come online, I struggle enough to get my stuff on eBay, never mind getting it anywhere else. So, yeah, for me, it's just eBay.
Yeah, I'm the same pretty much. I mean, I do want to start doing some cross-listing, and Lex has started doing some as well, so I'm going to join her next week. and try and have a look at Etsy, because I have got an Etsy account and I did put some stuff on there before, and I've got a set of drawers full of jewellery which is all being photographed, so I'm hoping to get some of that on there. And then I'm possibly looking into Vinted. I'm not sure yet, because I don't know. I was doing some research last night, and it said the other second to eBay, the next best place to put general sort of high street brands is Vinted. So I might give them a go. But Karen, you go next, because I think you've got some interesting information, haven't you, about other platforms?
I don't sell on any other platforms at the moment. I have just set up an Instagram account, which I'm trying to build it up, which is promoting my eBay shop at the moment, which I am now also going to start putting an Instagram price on, taking the 10% off. Now, I don't expect it to get any orders anytime soon, and I'm literally spending a couple of minutes each night doing it. But it's just something I want to trial with, because I looked at the other platforms, because being on one platform does scare me a bit if, for example, your account got suspended permanently. But I looked at the others. Now, eBay, I've got some notes here, I wrote it down last night. eBay has 180 million users worldwide, and I use GSP, so most of my stuff can go more or less anywhere in the world. Depop has 13 million users, with 5 million of them over in the US. Vinted's only got 21 million users, and Etsy, I found this interesting, has had 39.5 million active buyers last year. I just don't think there's the traffic on the other platforms that there is on eBay. And to me, I personally think with eBay, I'd rather spend the time putting another 1 or 2 listings on eBay rather than cross-listing something. And I know that's putting all my eggs in one basket, but I'm just, I can't bothered. I tried Etsy before, I'd done the crafts price, and it was slow and dire.
So Karen, with the Insta thing, is it that you click on that thing that says promote your listing when you're on eBay, and you can put in Instagram, or is that not how it works?
You can't do it with an Instagram one. So I'm posting items I've got for sale on my Instagram. I'm doing one a day, Monday to Friday. I've got a couple of bookmark pages that tell me the best keywords to use for best items of clothing to drive the traffic to the store. I put a few of them on there. I put the item number in, and at the moment I put the price in, but I'm going to start putting in the eBay price and the Instagram price. And then if they want to buy it through Instagram, I can then just send them a PayPal invoice.
Right, yeah.
I'm doing it to drive my own traffic to the eBay shop.
Yeah.
Because I do think social media is going to be one of the ways forward, whether we like it or not.
Oh, definitely. Before I turned my Instagram private, I used to get quite a lot of views on some of my posts just from the keywords. And I put a load of shoes on one time, and someone from the Big Bang liked my post. I got so excited, I was like jumping up and down. I can't even think of her name. The one with the long hair and the glasses that was married to Sheldon. She was Blossom years ago. Yeah, she liked my picture. I'd done like a circle of shoes and saying how much I loved selling shoes, and she liked it, and I just got so excited. So if she can see it, a lot of other people must have seen it as well.
Well, I say there's 1 billion users on Instagram, and 35% of online adults that use online are on Instagram daily.
Yeah, it's all about the hashtag.
Yeah,
your posts visible to people that aren't necessarily following you.
Yeah.
I said,
I think also you need to be niched in some sort of area. So for Lex, it would be vintage clothing, jewellery, and household stuff. Pretty much the same for you, Andrea. But I think most of the rest of us, apart from probably Heather as well, she has some nice bits, are generalists. So I can't see the point, really, if you understand what I mean, for us. I think if you're niche, then it's different, because then you can get a following for vintage or for high-end fashion. But if you're just generalist, I can't see the point, honestly. But you can change my mind if you like.
I have a query.
Yeah.
What you were saying, Karen, is that you're putting up the link to your eBay item on Instagram.
Just the item number, yeah.
And then people can go and look, and then you're hoping they'll come back and they'll buy through Instagram, which will be a direct sale
Yeah.
Not an eBay sale.
Yeah.
Which means you then have to end the item on eBay if they do it that way around.
Yeah.
Now, I had in the back of my mind a vague idea that if eBay suspect you of performing a sale off of eBay and then ending the item to avoid fees, you can get your knuckles wrapped.
There'd have to be.
Do you think it would be a problem that they might notice a lot of links? Because obviously they can see where the traffic's being driven from. Do you think it might be a problem they might notice the links coming through from Instagram and then you ending the items?
But isn't that just to do with doing a deal outside of eBay, like when people are messaging you saying, I want to buy something?
I think that's what I'm asking, really. Would eBay object to you using their platform, their shop window, so to speak, and then selling it through the back door?
I don't know what their rule is on.
I think if I got a message through eBay, it'd have to be sold through eBay, and I would always do that anyway. But if I've driven my own traffic, screw if I'm going to give them fees for something I've actually then gone and sent a PayPal invoice for.
Yeah, but eBay do want you to promote your own listings, but they also want you to buy through the eBay website.
I think that's what I'm trying to say. I think Kelly summed that up better than I managed it.
Which is what Carla's saying.
But the thing is,
yeah,
with my sale, they wouldn't be able to see where it came through because you can't put direct links onto Instagram, can you?
Oh, right,
It's only the item number, so they've got to copy and paste the item number and then put it in the.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's said if they haven't got a problem now, they're probably going to have if they suddenly realise this is happening.
Yeah.
It's a whole load of faff, though, isn't it? Going off Instagram, having to copy and paste the. You know, it's a difficult way. It's not like a swipe up, isn't it? I wish Instagram would give everything.
Would you maybe be better off cross-listing to Facebook, Karen, and then putting it on your Instagram and directing people to your Facebook page to buy?
No, because I hate Facebook for selling.
Yeah, but it's not general, is it? It's not general selling. It would be people directed from your Instagram. So if they're bothering to have a look on Facebook, then they're interested.
Yeah.
So what's the thinking then, Karen, about selling it directly from Instagram rather than directing them to your eBay and then buying it from your eBay account?
Well, I think maybe it may attract some more people because they'll think, oh, I'm getting a deal there because they're getting the 10% off because I would give them the 10% fees off.
Is there anything that you could do to set up a 10% off code if they went over and bought it on eBay? If they went over and bought
it on eBay, the 10% I'm giving them off is the fees that I'm saving on Instagram. Yeah. That's the whole reason I'm giving them a different price for an Instagram price.
But then maybe you could do it as not promoting an eBay listing and just put your item for sale on Instagram without any eBay links or any eBay numbers.
Buddy.
Yeah.
People do on Instagram. People run whole businesses on Instagram. All sort of handmade-y typey stuff and secondhand from what I've done. I mean, Andrea, you shop on Instagram a bit, don't you?
I used to. I don't really anymore. But there's a big vintage scene on Instagram where people just sell vintage stuff through Instagram.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot when I was putting stuff on that I'd made. I got quite a lot of questions about, are you making more of this? Or and I put a question on, if I made these cushions, would people buy them? And I got quite a lot of people saying yes. So I think in the future, I'll definitely use Instagram when I make stuff.
Yeah.
Put it on there. It just so happens that me putting more stuff on social media has coincided with me not doing as much sewing. Obviously, I've had a few different things that have stopped me. But if I'm saying to myself, if I keep saying this enough, I will start sewing again. And I'm saying it on YouTube. I will actually do it.
Would it help if you did what Mel? Sorry, Lex. I was just going to ask Karen if you thought it would help if she did what Mel did. Mel broke her week down. And so this day is my eBay day, and this day is her crochet day. I wonder if that would work for you.
Yeah, I definitely think it will. I mean, I sort of work on a 2-week sort of rota, the same as my husband, so that I try and work when he's working. So I will try and do some kind of rota that syncs with his, where I can say, right, that day or those 2 days is just sewing, so that I could actually get back into sewing again, because you do need to do a full day of it, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Gary's just said about using Pinterest to drive traffic. You could do that. Karen, using Pinterest maybe to drive traffic as well as Instagram. I mean, I pin everything, every single thing I list, I pin. I've no idea if it makes any difference.
Yeah.
Well, Andrea, what I found as well is, which could be a good or bad thing, but whatever you put there on the internet, picture or something, it's pretty much there forever. You have to go through a hell of a lot of trouble to get that information back and get it taken down. I used to make a very niche design of nipple tassels many years ago, and I mean very, very niche, and I won't say what they were. And there was one picture of it on some artist's website, just one picture. And I tell you what, I still get occasionally, maybe like once a year, and considering I did this like 8 years ago, I still get someone contacted me every so often going, do you still make these? So like, even so you're putting these things out there now, it's like when you're listing, isn't it? You don't get that return straight away, but you'll get it eventually. You can't take things back. So someone out there in 2 years' time will find the link to your store for that product or whatever, and yay, you have to sell it finally.
So whatever you put on the internet will always be there.
Well, I'm so glad it's gone now, but it used to be when you Googled my name, a company that I worked for, we all had like headshots for the website. So if you Googled my name, this really awkward picture of me came up, like done by a photographer, half smiling, and I was like, oh God, but luckily you can't find that now, so I don't know where. I don't know if it disappears when they take the website down or what. I don't know. Sorry, just looking at the questions, see if there's anything else. Did I ask everyone if they cross list? Who else hasn't answered about cross listing?
Me.
Do you cross list, Caroline?
Not anymore. I used to on Etsy. At the end of last year, I put everything that was suitable for Etsy. I cross listed. I spent a long time doing it, and I was getting 1 or 2 sales a month. It's just too slow for me, that platform. And then a couple of times something sold, and then I forgot to take it off eBay, and then it sold again. And I just don't think I don't know. I just went off it. So I closed my shop down when I went on holiday for my holidays on Etsy, and I haven't ever reopened it. Not deliberately to start with, but when I figured it out, I just didn't, because I don't know. I just feel eBay's not where I want to be, and I don't want to dilute myself across lots of other things at the moment. That's just how I'm thinking about it. No, I never say never. I might do in the future, but not at the moment.
Do you think any of you it would be beneficial for again, Lex and Andrea mainly, because you sell the vintage clothing, to post on vintage clothing groups on Facebook or something like that to sell?
I use the vintage clothing. Sorry, having said I don't cross list, I do cross list into some specific Facebook groups, and there's quite a big one for vintage dresses specifically, which I have had some luck with. Well,
I didn't want to mention it, but I have seen you in there, Caroline. With yes, that's why I tried to divert it to Lex and Andrew.
Are you stalking me on the internet?
No, I'm just happy to be in them groups as well.
So Kelly's the Facebook stalker then, and I'm the eBay stalker.
So do you think you get any success from that, Caroline, or any of you others tried it?
I've not tried it.
There's a sea salt group as well, which I find on Facebook they want lower prices, but there's no fees and no returns, which is the upside of Facebook selling. I think the big selling groups where you can list anything. I hate Facebook Marketplace. I wouldn't use that at all. I hate all the people on it. That's very reasonable. I hate it. But the actual groups that are specific, like the vintage group, and there's a sea salt group, and there's a group that does like Hush and what's the other one, Mint Velvet. I've had some success in those, but at lower than eBay prices.
Yeah, because Nick did similar with the games cartridge, didn't he, Andrea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he used it to promote the to promote the eBay listing, really, just to say I've got this for sale.
Yeah.
So anyone else do any cross listing?
I do.
No,
Yes.
Well, as of like Tuesday this week, I spent all day Tuesday. I think I did 60 listings in total, cross-listed onto Etsy. Kind of drove me a bit mad. And then I put some more on Depop as well. And then this week I've started on Vinted. And yeah, I can imagine, like Karen said, there'll be sales and things like, oh damn, I didn't take that down, that listing when it sold. And so there's obviously going to be some silly things at some point that happen. But I just think as you put yourself out there more, and then hopefully at some point you get more back. We know what we were all like that day the other week when eBay went down, and we all went, oh God, like what if it's like this all the time? It's zombie apocalypse. And what are we going to do? And there was that little spark of like, oh crap. It's like, maybe we should do something else as well. It got a bit scary there for a minute.
Yeah. Well, I feel the same. And like when Karen said about putting all her eggs in one basket, that's exactly the reason why I am starting to cross list, because especially with all the changes with eBay, it just makes you suddenly think, oh, you know, perhaps I need to actually be active and use other places and try and get my items seen. So yeah, I do the same. I'm on Vinted, Depop, Etsy, but I haven't actually tried Facebook.
No.
The problem is that I do want to use something other than eBay, but I want it to be exactly like eBay, or rather, exactly like eBay used to be.
Yeah.
I want a time machine.
Vinted is so easy to list on, so quick.
It really is.
I like it.
Hey, wouldn't it be a good idea to invent an old school eBay where you could leave negative feedback for
That's one of my favourite things that I want back.
Carla, we should invent that. That would be awesome.
Although I have discovered that if you leave positive feedback in a foreign language and you can put a negative comment and they don't know what it means. So. That works
right.
I don't know if anyone uses Facebook at all. Additionally, but I've got 2 Facebook pages, which probably some of you in the chat might have seen that I invited you to last night, because I realised I didn't have very many people in my friends list that I had invited to. So I've got Cover Me Up, which is my covers, and I've had that quite a while, and I've sold quite a lot of covers through that because people have bought off me on eBay, and I put a little thank you card in with my Facebook page for Cover Me Up, and people have contacted me about you know, specially made ones, so custom covers, so nothing that I've got on eBay, and I've made quite a few custom covers for people through there. And then a few people have just found me on Facebook and messaged me and said, oh, you know, could you make me this or that? And it's nothing to do with eBay, they've just found me on Facebook, so that's been quite good. And then I've got Kazi Sells It, which is just for my secondhand stuff. Well, it's new and used stuff. I think I've maybe only sold one thing through that. Really, it's just for people to see what I've got going out, or what I've got in my shop at the moment. I put like more interesting stuff on there, and then as it sells, I just delete it. So if anybody does, any of my friends are interested in something I'm selling, they can contact me through that rather than go to eBay. So that's what I do with Facebook. So does anyone else use Facebook in that way, or?
No.
I've got my own page as well. The Bad Biscuit _UK. 499 followers. It's very annoying. Just want that one more. But yeah, but I've been very, very lackadaisical with it, and I very rarely use it. And it's only because of this cross-listing and Auntie Sue doing her cross-listing recently. And I was like, I've got nearly 500 followers on there and nearly 1,000 followers on Instagram. And why aren't I, you know, actually using it properly? I'm just being lazy. So it's my thing that every day I'm going to do a Facebook post, one in the morning, one in the evening, and one on Instagram.
Yeah.
So at least I put it to some use. You know?
I think it does depend on what you sell. Like you've said, like before, you Lex, you know, you sell quite a lot of, I'm going to call quirky stuff I love it, but it's vintage, isn't it? You know, it's a very niche market, and I think if someone's going to buy, like, say, that little puppy that you listed on there, that you showed on there, was that this morning or last night? The stuff your auctions you've got going on, they're going to come back for more of that kind of stuff. Whereas, I don't know, with things like, if I'm looking for clothing, I mean, I don't buy clothing on eBay anymore, but if I was looking for something, I wouldn't save sellers. You know, I'd literally look for a pair of black jeans, say, in my size, go and buy them. And the next time, if I needed a white skirt, I'd put in white skirt and my size, and go that way. I wouldn't actually save people, and if they'd put in business cards, they'd go in the bin, because I was like, well, I've got your skirt now, that's what I wanted, you know.
Yeah, I've got quite a few repeat sellers, because I've got a few buyers that know that I sell Clark's shoes. So I've had a few people message me saying, oh, if you get any more sandals, could you let me know? And I usually just say, well, just follow my shop on eBay, and then if you'll get notified when I put new stuff on, and you can see if there's any sandals that would be suitable, because I'm not going to trawl back through all my messages to find that person. So I just do that. But I've got a few repeat customers from shoes, so that's not too bad.
How are your figures on your repeat customers? Because PayPal tells you, doesn't it, where you get repeat?
Does it? I haven't looked. No, I will have a look and see. The only reason I know is from people, you know, when you recognise a buyer's name, or when someone messages me. So I don't know the exact figures, but I should really go and have a look. Yeah,
I very rarely get repeat customers. Now and again, I'll get the odd one.
Yeah,
that comes back and buys something else.
I'm on 4%. I'm on 4% repeat customers.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I don't know. I don't know what the standard is. Z said his is quite high, didn't he?
But he's niched again, isn't he? Whereas RC, that's what I'm saying. If you're in a niche, then yes, it's worth it.
Look in the chat. I've got a customer in the chat who's bought Clark's shoes off me.
I do think it depends on what you sell. Like, I mean, for example, like when people say to me, oh, where do you get your tissue paper from? I've always got it from the same place.
Yeah.
Because they're a good thing, and it's something I use time and time again. So I don't know. I'm trying to find my repeat customers at the moment.
So the next question was, do you put thank you notes in with your stuff that you sell, or what do you do to help get repeat custom or help, you know, customer service? Does everybody do that? I'll start off with Carla. Do you put anything in your packages?
Nothing anymore. I used to. I've got little cards that I used to. Sorry, if you hear a scream, it's because I've run over Molly's foot, because she insists on being underneath the desk. So over the years, I've had various designs of business cards. There's two there. I don't know if anybody can make that out, but there's basically saying many thanks for your purchase. I hope it meets all your expectations. If so, please leave me positive feedback, and I'll be delighted to do the same. If for any reason you're not happy, please contact me through eBay, and I will do my best to resolve the issue. eBay ID Tizer 2001. And I sent those out for years. And I stopped. And I can't see any reason that I should have carried on, because it doesn't seem to make any difference. Nobody ever messaged me and gone, I looked at your little card and it says I have to message you. And so I used to use them when business cards were free with Vistaprint, but they're not free anymore, so sod that.
Yeah. What about you, Caroline?
Exactly the same as Carla. I used to, and the reason I originally started doing it was because they decided, oh God, I don't know how long ago it was, 8 years or something, they decided they were going to give you an automatic defect as soon as anybody opened the case. So I sent them out, and they were worded similar to what Carla's just read out, saying, if you've got a problem, please contact me. Here's my phone number. Here's my email address, because we were just trying to deflect them from opening a case, because it was like a 3 strikes and you're out defect type thing, wasn't it? And of course, they changed the system. And, you know, business cards cost a lot. They're not a cheap thing. Not a lot, but, you know, it's all money coming off your bottom line, isn't it? And I didn't see any point, once you didn't get a defect for a case being opened anymore, continuing to post business cards. I didn't think they made an awful lot of difference. So, yeah.
I'm trying to find mine. What about you, Kelly?
No, I don't put anything in my packages, because I'm not trying to get them to go anywhere else. So again, I think if you're selling on other platforms, then maybe it's beneficial to try and get them to go there. and have a look. But for me, no, it's not worth it. So I just always leave them nice feedbacks, thanking them in that way, with the feedback that you can leave on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Random question. Do you not brands, but like do you tailor the your automatic feedback? All of my auto feedback is Alan Partridge quote.
Brilliant.
Are they nice ones though?
Oh yeah, they're all like back of the net and things like that. Access to Dixon's. Yeah.
What about you, Heather? Do you put anything in with your sales?
No, I don't. It's packed, it's out the door, it's gone, and I'm happy it's gone. So I've thought about it at one point, and then I just thought it's more work, it's more expense. So I couldn't see that it made much difference.
Mm-hmm. Karen?
They will tag on the clothing, so don't you dare blink and try and send it back without it. But no, I don't put business cards or anything like that. I just like the other thing. I think it's an absolutely unnecessary expense.
You've got your little thank you stickers, haven't you?
Well, they're not thank you. That's what I'm saying. There's little things like, oh, what on them? Yeah. Yeah, it was something like £3 for 1,000 of them off eBay China. So, but no, I don't put any business cards or anything like that. Because as I said, me personally, I know when I'm shopping, if when I used to buy clothing off there, is I wouldn't go and save shops for used clothing. I'd just be looking for something that I wanted for that day, and it would be eBay. eBay's the brand I was going to, not anybody's shop. It was eBay I was going to look for it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I'm sure there are people that save shops and will look through them.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just a different generation and wouldn't do that, but
I think a lot of the stuff I sell is for sort of my age and older women, middle-aged women. So I do try with. I've got my little. I just print them off myself. I created them myself. It just says, "Thank you so much for your purchase. Please leave positive feedback. If you have any problems, please contact me first via eBay." And I just cut those out, and I usually wrap my stuff in tissue paper and just stick that in at the top. And I've always done that, so that's I don't know. I just feel like it's a bit more. I know a lot of you are a lot more professional than me, but I just feel like that's my little way of being a bit professional. So it doesn't cost me much because, as I say, I just print them off myself. I'm in black and white on my laser printer, so.
So I wrap all mine in tissue paper, as you see on a Monday morning. There's two reasons. One, it saves on plastic. Yeah. And the second reason is tissue paper is darn sight cheaper than actually getting them back every single time. So reusing them.
You just send them in tissue paper, Karen.
Oh yeah, no polymail bag. I send it in tissue and shove it in a polymail bag.
So how does that save on plastic?
Because they're stored in
Because you're only using one instead of two.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I take mine out of the plastic bag.
Yeah, and I reuse them.
Bag and just go. Yeah, I see what you mean now. Yeah.
There's a comment in the chat. Sorry. Jasmine said when she sold on eBay, cards seemed to get more positive feedback. And I think she's probably right, but I stopped caring about my feedback a while ago. And Other Five Sons wants to know, do we put copy invoices in the parcel? No, and I personally don't. I don't print anything I don't have to.
No. I used to many moons ago. That's when I was doing the Crafts Plaza, and I used to print off all the invoices and put them in there. And I thought, what am I doing this for? No one even asked for it.
Yeah. I think if you're selling like something new or something that another reseller would buy, then that makes sense. But if it's just secondhand stuff, I don't think it's worth it unless someone specifically asks.
I'll begrudgingly do it if someone asked me to.
There was a bit of a phase of people getting sweets in their packages, wasn't
there? If anyone had received that, I had sweets in a parcel once, and they all melted and stuck to my item.
Oh.
I hope you opened a return request.
I did, and I just kind of picked it off and tutted a bit and thought, oh, well, there you go. That's what's trying to do something nice always backfires, you know. And there's no point being evil to the poor woman, you know. I did message her and say, just to let you know, your sweeties melted. Perhaps, perhaps hold on to them until the winter.
Yeah, try Reese's next time.
Oh, look at the mess.
I think Sherry got a Werther's original or something like that. Dress that she brought or something. Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, Lex, you put business cards in, don't you?
Yeah, I do for all vintage clothing sales or anything that's a bit retro looking. If it's just a standard, a top that I've just sold because I know I can make some money from it, then I generally don't. But yeah, anything that's vintage, because I want to direct them towards my Instagram and Facebook. And I did notice since I started doing it that my Facebook has got, I don't know, maybe about 50 odd new likes and new watches since then. And my Instagram has gone up as well. So all it takes, I know it's the 250 cards, I think it's like £17. But, which that's like, that's blooming 17 quid, that's ridiculous. But I only need one sale to come from that, And I know it does work. For me, it does work because I have had sales like through my Facebook and stuff, and I do have regular people going like, "Oh, have you got anything like this?" or "Can you find me something like this?"
Yeah.
So it works for me. But I know what you're saying about people buying secondhand clothes that they won't save the sellers. But that's because we're quite confident buyers as well. There are people out there that they're scared of buying things like off eBay because they just assume that everything is going to be horrible and secondhand and stuff. And when they get a nice experience, like my mum is the same. My mum bought off vintage for the first time the other day, and she bought a nice pair of shoes, and they were good quality Vans, like bright green and stuff, and she was well happy. And so I think she will save that seller again the next time she wants to buy something because she's had a good experience that she wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
So it's the unconfident buyers that maybe the general sellers might want to tap into as well, is that you are giving good customer service and they can rely on you.
That's a good point.
Yes, brilliant point. Yeah.
That's your US.
I mean, I've been putting thank you cards in for a while, and the little tagline I put is "Thank you for supporting a family business," or "Thank you for supporting our family business." And I just think it puts that personal thing in front of someone to make them realise that I'm not a big company, I'm not a corporation. Because I think, with the rise of all these sort of online marketplaces, there's a lot of people that kind of misuse that. And I think that if you see, you're just a family business, they might think twice about, just trying it on and sending it back and that kind of thing. And I just think it changes attitudes. So that's the main reason why I do it. But I have just got some new ones with all of my shop names on now. So if I sell something on Vinted, it doesn't look weird if I send something with my eBay name on it. Yeah.
I think I've gone through everyone, haven't I? Is there anything anyone else wants to say? Because I've gone through all the questions that we had. Any other points?
I would just say, I'm just thinking about followers on Instagram, for example, or that sort of thing. Don't forget that most of them are just other resellers that are following you. They're nosy buggers, aren't we? We are.
Yeah, I started quite a debate because I'd actually posted a picture of my new card on Instagram, and the card that I would send out with sales, and it had I put my Instagram on. And I started quite a debate with people that were getting quite fired up about the fact that I shouldn't share my social media as a reseller to potential buyers. And
people say they'll see what you paid for it. I remember that.
Yeah, it really depends on how you use your Instagram and what you want from it.
Yeah.
Because for me, I don't use my Instagram really to sell things to people. I use it, and I don't use it either as a reseller to say, hey, I bought this and I paid that for it and I'm going to sell that for it. I use it more as a platform where I talk about secondhand clothing. I talk about the joys of buying secondhand and, all that kind of thing. So
sustainability and all that sort of thing, don't you?
That's
definitely. And that is part of the brand that you're trying to create, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so that's
because people are buying into your idea of lifestyle, Andrea, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're buying into that. Like with Mel, isn't it as well? It's that sort of idea of a lifestyle, and I think even though she's not directly selling, that I'm sure there are customers that have come through that route.
Yeah.
Everyone has had customers that have come. Karen, you sell, you know, to people that have watched your videos.
Yeah, same thing. I've had customers that have come and I don't even realise that until maybe they might send the purchase, and then you get that buyer has attached the message, and it'll refer to me by name and say really enjoy your videos, and I'm like, oh god, it's a viewer, Now those viewers, if they've watched my car boot haul or my charity shop haul, then they know what I've paid for the items. And they're not bothered by that because they're happy with the price they paid for it. And that's
exactly.
When I go to Tesco, I don't stand there looking at the beans going, well, how much did you pay for them, Tesco? Why the hell are you charging me 43p? I bet you get them for 7p. It's not on, I want them for, I don't do that. I just go 43p. Yeah, I'm all right with that,
Yeah, we've sold lots of things through our YouTube channel, just showing things on a Sunday night, and then people say, I love that, can I buy that? They know how much we've paid for it because we've just said in the live, and quite happy, to pay that. So
I think in some cases as well, people see it as a way of supporting your YouTube channel and sort of thanking you for all the information, don't they?
There is that. But also I think that because you're then selling to another reseller, they understand that you have to make a profit, because that's what we're here for. We're running businesses, so but also they get a better deal because they get it less than we would have put it on eBay for. So
there is a magic word that keeps popping up and up because I can look at the chat now. Woohoo! Poshmark. Do we want Poshmark? Oh
yes.
I would hang up the flags and dance a jig if there was a Poshmark in this country. I am so jealous of the Americans for having it and for flaunting it in our faces.
It's got to come over at some point, though, isn't it? There's no way that they're not going to tap into a British market.
Does anyone know basically what? I've never looked at it.
Sorry.
I was going to say, has anyone looked at it and seen what it's like? Is it
That's
similar?
exactly what I was about to say, Karen. Although I've heard of it, I've never looked at it, and have any of you?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, I had a quick look because there's a couple of American resellers that I've been, I like what they pick up, and they talk about, there was a lady who talked from moving completely from eBay over to Poshmark. So her stock was basically the same. And I think she was selling sort of upmarket modern clothing as opposed to anything specifically vintage. But it really seems to be a good thing over there. So I for one would love it as an alternative, especially for some of the higher end stuff. Yeah.
Well, a lot of jumped ship, haven't they? When it I'm talking probably about 6 months ago, if not longer, a lot of jumped ship from eBay gone straight over and gone straight onto Poshmark. But I think Poshmark could come over. I'm not sure I'll jump straight over to it and leave eBay because I think it would take time for it to build up again.
Empty Hanger, that's the name of the lady I follow. Her grandmother goes and finds her stuff. Good God, what you wouldn't give for a grandmother like that. Sends her a big box of stuff, and she does the kind of stuff I like. But I mean, she makes all, again, she's all eggs in one basket. And I think apart from some stuff that she does on eBay, most of it is Poshmark.
Sorry, Mandy's just said in the chat she emailed Poshmark and they're looking to come to the UK in the near future.
Oh, good for you, Mandy. You're so proactive. We're all going, Poshmark. But just Canada, so yeah.
Andy had a question further back up the chat. Andy wants to know, Andy Robinson wants to know, do we think Steve Green's increased online presence and his popularity is down to his extensive clothing knowledge or his good looks and charm?
I was ignoring that one.
I'm going with no, we don't think that either.
Surely it's his good looks.
Talk about Steve opening up a clothing resellers group on Facebook, and he could be a welcome on there. I was going to be the first one to join to find out all these pearls of wisdom.
I think he's doing quite well with his clothing, actually. He's stepped out of his comfort zone, gave it a try, and he's trying, isn't he? So,
oh, he's very trying.
Go back to Poshmark for a minute. Go back to Poshmark. From what I've seen of it, it's a very different culture, isn't it? Because it's a very social thing, and you have to
share closets
all the time and really.
Yeah, I just had a quick glance, and there's a thing on there called Posh Parties, which are online buying events, apparently. So
and they do a lot of bundling, and
See,
it looks like it's a lot more work than eBay.
that's the
Maybe
one
worth
that puts me off, is all this having to share every 5 seconds and be all pally with every Tom, Dick and Harry on Blinking Poshmark. I just can't be dealing with it. You know, I'm so sociable.
It makes me nervous. That level of being social is just not in my genes. I'm like, how the hell am I going to keep that up? I haven't got enough to say that's that interesting. Seriously.
The only other thing I was going to say was having a look last night, and I put in sell secondhand clothes online UK, and a site did come up that I've never seen before called Rebelle, REBELLE. Has anyone heard of that?
No.
It
sounds like it's going to be 50s stuff. Was it 50s kind of?
No, it's designer. So if you find anything high end, but I mean, they had I looked and they had prices starting from about 20 quid, and it's high end stuff, and you can sell it on there. I mean, they do charge £16 postage because a lot of it is high end stuff, so it is quite a high postage. But it might be worth it for people who pick up high end stuff. I mean, they did have on like stuff that we do find, like Tommy Hilfiger, Max Mara. Trying to think what else I saw on there. You know, all the designer brands. So it might be worth looking into for anyone that does pick up designer stuff regularly. It might be worth having a look at them to see.
So what happens if you look into it? Do you send your stuff to them and then they post it on?
I think the really high end stuff you have to send to them and they have to verify it.
It looks like Vestiaire Collective.
Pardon?
Looks very similar to Vestiaire Collective. That's how that works as well.
Oh, right.
In France. But
which is the one that's gone? Which is the one that's closed down? Was that Spock? Is Spock gone?
Yeah, Spock one.
Has it?
Oh, I didn't know if it had.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. Sorry, it's Macari, wasn't it?
Macari. Everyone had gone, and I wasn't sure. And
I liked Macari, but just for buying, because it was, you know, they used to do those £5 events, didn't they? And I bought a load of stuff from them when they had.
I think a lot of people had a lot of success getting rid of their stale inventory to Macari, didn't they? They were buying everything. People were like, just put it on and see if they'll buy it.
Yeah. I think they bought too much though and didn't sell enough.
Yeah.
To make a profit.
But I felt like
I buy too much and don't sell enough. Just call me Macari.
Yeah.
It felt like it could have been a real rival to eBay though, because you could sell anything on it, and
yeah,
I felt like they'd stuck with it and had the potential.
I think maybe they tried to grow too fast.
Yeah.
But I think one thing you've got to remember, I think whatever other platform you go onto, this is just for second-hand clothing. Obviously, we're not talking about Amazon, which I think Amazon probably outbeats eBay. I didn't even look at Amazon. But I think any other platform, you've got to understand it probably will be a lot slower than eBay because it's not the same size. Plus, you've got to remember, you know, how many years have you been selling on eBay for? You've got to build up that kind of level of feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, it's going to be a slow burner. And you've got to have patience if you can do it, and I can't bother. Yeah. So there's my input.
Everything that I post on eBay now, I'm just cross-listing. Obviously, not on Etsy unless it's a vintage thing, but yeah. So I concentrate on eBay first, and then I put it onto other platforms and just keep my fingers crossed. I had a vintage sale yesterday, which was good.
Good.
Can I quickly ask? For those of us that don't know, what does cross-listing actually involve? Is it just copying your photos over in a quick description? Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, I copy and paste everything.
Right.
Yeah, same. And because I was redoing some old listings the other day, and then some of my jewelry listings, I just screenshot and just put them like straight onto Etsy, and then Depop and Vintage is so easy to list on there. Like literally, yeah, just copy and paste. That's the price. There you go, job done.
And do you get paid by PayPal, or is it? Did one of you say you get into bank transfer or something, or have I read that wrong?
Vintage goes straight into your bank account. Depop use PayPal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, we've been on for an hour, so that went really, really quickly.
I made notes.
Good topic. Oh, brilliant. So thanks everyone for joining me, and yeah, it was a good topic. And I don't know whose channel we're on next week. Did you say that you'd be happy to host, Caroline?
Yes, if you like.
Yeah? We'll just have to come up with a topic. So yeah, hopefully next week on Caroline's channel. Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next week. Bye everyone.